Hi guys, King of Charmanders here, and now this is my streamer's guide video on how to not be boring. Now I've had a bunch of people ask me, how are you so hyped? How are you so energetic? Why are you able to pull in such a large audience? I'm not a top player, definitely nowhere close to being a top player. I am not anywhere close to being a technician, someone that's incredibly technical to the game, that knows everything, counts, plays everything, or a majority of it anyways, because no one's ever going to truly know everything, but they're not going to know a lot. I don't know that either. How do you draw an audience in? How do you go from literally starting on Twitch, not being known for anything at all, and then when you find your niche and your way into the Twitch world, how do you gain an audience? In other words, the key word that everyone says. If you don't have what I just mentioned, high ranking anywhere, if you don't have that technical knowledge, how do you not be boring? And this is what I'm going to say right here. This is what I'm going to teach you. This is my video on literally how you can stop being what you call boring. Let's get started. Alright, so persona. I'm going to make this as simple as I possibly can. So the persona is basically not just your personality. So everybody assumes that just because I'm hyped, I'm positive, and I'm super excited that everyone is drawn to my energy. That's very true. However, how can you keep an audience engaged if I'm just yelling at you every 15 seconds? You know what I mean? What is this persona you create? How do you create a persona? So this is how you create a persona. A persona is not just your character. It's kind of like, who are you? You know what I mean? So you have like this kind of, for me, as far as Getbeamed goes, so Getbeamed, hashtag Getbeamed. I'm a Sato. Now what a Sato is, it's a student. Do you know what a Sato means in terms of the whole Japanese culture thing? So a Sato is a student of a senpai. Now a senpai is usually like a teacher. Your senpai, your teacher, is a school. So I've kind of created my persona in far as hashtag Getbeamed as like a martial artist. I am this battler with a martial arts background known as Getbeamed, and I'm really good at letting those things happen. I create this grand finale that I call my style, Gayundo Finale. And I literally shout all of my beams in different languages. That's how you create a persona. You don't just, for example, I am hyped about how can you hype stuff up? I created a solar beam. For example, let me give you a great example of creating your persona, creating your personality, creating your character, like you're a superhero. Like you're creating a show. You're the superhero in this show, and now you're trying to throw that persona in front of your audience and just mesmerize them and be like, wow, this guy's like a ninja, which I pretty much am kind of like a ninja. So here's what I do. So I took something this simple. This is how you create a personality. Solar beams, they take a really long time to get to. How do you hype that up? I took this solar beam, getting the bubbles, and when the beam goes to the sky, solar beam in English to say, at least for many, in my opinion, is boring. It's boring to just say solar beam. How do you hype that up? You say it in a different language. For example, if you speak Japanese, Tayoko Sen means solar beam. You know that already. Does the American audience do it? No, they don't. If you yell it as you do on stream, it's exciting. You just created part of your persona. I am the guy that will yell special techniques, like a special technique. Like if y'all know Street Fighter, Hadouken, Ryu, connection, solar beam, Tayoko said, connection. Where's the connection? Me. I have now created a connection. So if anybody out there, like if you see in chat, because this has been said in chat sometimes I will see someone say Tayoko-sen, that points to me. Congratulations, you have created your persona. A persona is who you create. You as a person, you as an imagined character. Are you a superhero? Are you a spice master? Are you the anti-meta king like Caleb Pang? Are you the godfather of pretty much promoting and creating PvP, which is Kang? Or are you one of the popular content creators? Are you Zionic? Are you Hero of Age? Are you FPS Sticks? Or Epi Sticks? Sorry, I butchered that. See what I mean by creative persona? Every single one of these individuals has creative persona. They're experts. And additional things make them different from each other. And that's what creates their audience. Sometimes an audience like watching some of them. Sometimes they only like one or two. But because they like their persona, they can draw them in with their persona. See what I mean there? If you create this character, you will draw people to your audience and they will like your character. Not just as a streamer, but rather as a battler. When you create your persona as a battler, you can draw an audience in. This is especially vital when viewers are coming into your channel for the first time. This is your first impression. What's your persona? And it's going to obviously combine with everything else in this video, but there you go. What's your persona? That's number one. Now we're going to go to number two. Number two, death by knowledge. And now what I mean by this is how to not be boring. Death by knowledge sounds funny, but honestly, that's really what it is. You will see this in a lot of other streams where the person is just really freaking good. They're just one of the top players in the world, but they're also really good at telling you how a game goes. And they have a different way of doing it. This is how persona and like everything kind of just like come together, is with the knowledge part. Because I can be a ninja, for example, for like Getbeamed, I can be a ninja and like shoot beams up in the sky and yell Tayoko-san all I want. How do I bring that up? Because the knowledge isn't just the knowledge of knowing the game, it's the knowledge of the audience. For example, I can have some random person come in and they don't know it takes this long to get the solar beam. Actually, generally, if you play Pokemon Go PvP, you'll know that solar beams take a ridiculously long to get to. Or if you are this seasoned veteran, or you know your stuff as a viewer, how the heck does this guy get to a solar beam? Because I'm going to tell you right now, an Azumarill will get to an ice beam and hydro pump before you can get to a solar beam. Death by knowledge. You can fill, this is called in shoutcasting dead air, which is basically just like a whole bunch of like pausing in between. There's not a lot of like, there's nothing that's happening in between. It's just like dead silence. Knowledge. Some viewers like that about you. They like how you're a knowledgeable technical player. You have knowledge. You can show that knowledge. And that's how you not boring. You tell people what's going on. You know to the T, you know plays, you know typings, you know moves. You know that an Umbreon gets absolutely bodied by a Registeel. You know that. And you can talk about that all day. Death by knowledge. Knowledge. Talking about knowledge as much as you can. I do this a lot in my streams where I will have a battle and I will talk about knowledge. I will talk about after I am done with a match, what I could have done better. And even if I do win, what my opponent could have done. That fills a lot of dead air for your streams. Is it okay to be wrong? Of course, we're not going to know everything. Am I going to know it takes 5 counters to get to a Psycho Boost? No. Am I going to know the exact energy it takes to get to every single move out there? No, I'm not. But if you do know that, that's a lot of ways to not be boring. Some person might not know. Like, for example, like me, today I found out that Zap Cannon and Draco Meteor do 150 damage. That's something new. I didn't know that. If you fill your viewers with knowledge that they don't know about, they become interested in you. And you're not boring anymore. Knowledge. Death by knowledge. Showing your knowledge. That's number 2. Number 3. Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're an amazing band. Y'all should check them out. I love them to death. They're one of my favorites. What do I mean by Red Hot Chili Peppers? What is a pepper? What flavor is it? It is spicy. And you know what's spicy? That's pretty much what we call... I forgot where the term came from. I think it was Matsor. There's so many other individuals that are spice masters in this meta. They're like basically, okay, so if you don't know what spice is in PvP, spice is basically using something different that nobody else has seen or is just like off the wall. For example, when I used Hydreigon in Master League in Season 1 to climb to rank 10, that's spicy. That's what people mean by spice. And spice has just been kind of adopted as this universal like term of like, oh, okay, he's running off meta stuff or just like something really off the wall. Now, what I mean by red hot chili peppers is your spice. How to not be boring. What is the spice you bring? For example, when I climbed to rank 10, I did it with beams, and in Master League, I did it with the Hydrate Gun. That's how I drew a huge number of viewers. Like this was like kind of like my apex. I was bringing in all these viewers that were interested at just how I was playing this really off the wall pick. That's what spice is. Like not only was I doing spice, but I was winning with it. That's another like prereq kind of. Either you're trying really hard to get there and people are enjoying you see that hard to get there, like some other streamers will do. They'll try really hard to make something exist. Like for example, for me, when I did babies, like I nuked my rating by a lot. So I was 2 points away from rank 10 in season 1. I nuked my rating by doing 10 battles with babies, and it was a point of no return. I never got back to 3,500 again, which was extremely foolish. I learned about that, and I never did it ever again. Don't nuke your rating on your way to rank 10. But that's what I mean by red hot chili peppers. What makes you different? What is the spice you bring to your battles? Some streamers, like one of my buddies, like Sass, he'll use like Shoutout Magnezone. For me, I'm not really running spice right now, but everyone's like mesmerized. They're like, how good? Like I may not be using spice, but how good is he when he's at full power? And that's what kind of draws my viewership in. Like I'm at season 2, I am no longer using beam team because I can't get there. So people aren't really seeing beams. I've had some individuals say like, hey, we want to see beams. Unfortunately, that's kind of hard to do in season 2. I kind of want to climb to rank 10. So now everyone's interested. They're like, wow, how good is he? And today I went 20-5. That's awesome. So I wasn't quite using the red hot chili peppers reference today, but what's the spice that made you different? In season 1, it was multiple things for me. Getbeamed, Blissey, Sensei. Like literally, if you look at my Sensei video, that thing has thousands of views on it because a Sensei literally charmed down a Tyranitar in Master League. Spice. How to not be boring. Find different ways off meta that people would normally be interested, and then poof, you have this great and awesome Pokemon or set of line or like set of core that you can showcase for your entire stream, and they love it. That's number 3. Number 4, I like anime. Now this is probably the most important one. If you do not like anime, get off my channel. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Now this is probably the most important one of how not to be boring. What I mean by I like anime, what do you like outside of battling? Like, this is kind of like the magic formula, I would say. Like, kind of like the secret, and I don't see a lot of battlers doing it. Like, a lot of battler streamers will purely be focused on battling. But here's the problem. When you're purely focused on battling, what else do your viewers know about you? They know you're a great battler. Like, my viewers that have been around for a long time know I love MMA, I love mixed martial arts, I've competed in combat sports, I'm a military veteran. They know that about me too. 3, they know what kind of music I like. I love R&B. I love anime music, and I love anime. I love anime. I can talk all day about anime. There's a lot of things you can talk about, like pretty much all day. Some of you are into sports, like football. And what I mean by football, I don't mean like American football. No, I mean like football, like soccer. Football. A lot of you can talk about your favorite teams, like your favorite clubs, like Arsenal, other things like that. A lot of you can talk about the NBA, basketball, football. You have hobbies outside of Pokemon Go. So how do you not be boring? There is something, I guarantee you, every streamer out there has something they can talk about all day. I can talk about pro wrestling all day. I can talk about martial arts all day. I can talk about anime all day. There are things I can talk about. And that keeps your viewers engaged. They make it known that you are much more than just a battler. And this is only like one of the secrets to like drawing in an audience. Because like I said, there's something you all can talk about as streamers, whether it be like King, or whether it be if you're at like 0 views right now, that your audience doesn't know about you. So what is that niche? Do you like anime like me? Because if you love anime, that's how I can grab my audience. As soon as I've done this several times where I'll just say like, I'll tell you this is a great anime. Code Geass is a great anime. I've had 5 to 7 people in chat say something about Code Geass. What is Code Geass? It's this really awesome anime that has a two-part series. Actually, I think three-part series. I'm wrong. And it's just like you could talk about it all day. You could talk about the main character Lelouch. I can talk about all the mechs in there, like the Lancelot Albion. There's so many things to talk about. You have all these different things, and I see it a lot. Some you can make up for that, obviously. Like I said, the way this thing kind of comes together, and this is like the thing, like Persona, Death by Knowledge, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I Like Anime all come together to your stream. This is how you not be boring. You have so much to select from. Number 4 is arguably your most valuable one, though. You have, like I said, you all have hobbies you can talk about. There's something that you hold dear, a passion that you have outside of Pokemon Go that you can connect your audience with. If you have a huge audience, this works especially well because then in chat, everyone's just gonna be start saying all these things like, "Oh, I know this person, I know that," and then you can grab one of those sentences. I'll be doing more on this, by the way. So there's gonna be another video on like grabbing sentences from your viewers and turning that into conversation, and that's how you can create and flow your stream. All these things I'm telling you right now, there's more tips out there. This is the way I word it. A persona, your character. Who are you? Death by knowledge. How much do you know? How can you apply it? 3, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. How spicy are you? And then number 4, I like anime. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions, please just say it on the comments below. Please like and subscribe. I'm gonna make more tip videos like this. I love helping, and it seems like being boring or like just the general, I would say the flow of your stream, because that's what I like calling it. Everybody has something different, like rhythm, etc. I call it the flow, because these really are what makes your stream flow over time. But we're so often focused on battling as battling streamers that we often forget that there are other things we can talk about. And our audience would love to know more about us. You guys have a wonderful day. I love you guys. Make sure you guys drink plenty of water, okay? By the way, Persona, that's the number one thing. I tell all my Seitos, make sure you drink water. You guys have a wonderful night.